Hello and welcome into BTN's Take 10 podcast. This is Alex Roux of BTN. This week's guest is former ACC Player of the Year, star Maryland Terrapin basketball player, Greivis Vasquez. Let's get into it. If you've ever thought about a career in sports, check out the Master's Program in Sports Administration at Northwestern University. You can build your skill set and your network in evening or online classes. Find out more at sps.northwestern.edu/sports. And now, Greivis Vasquez. All right, I'm very pleased to be joined by a former All-American from Maryland basketball, ACC Player of the Year, 7-year NBA vet. It's Greivis Vasquez. Greivis, how are you, man?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Very excited.
Thanks so much for joining me. Glad to have you on BTN podcast, big ACC guy. We'll get into your hooping days in just a second, but before we get going, saw on social media you launched a fundraising campaign to buy medical protective equipment, obviously in these times. So can you tell us about that and how maybe listeners can get involved and help if they want?
Yeah. I was in Italy a couple months ago. I had surgery on my right ankle, trying to get healthy still. So I was doing rehab and doing really well. And all of a sudden the pandemic just started going crazy. And the center of the pandemic at that time was Italy. So I had to basically run away and come to the States. That was a miracle. Flying from Italy to United States was it was a movie, literally. I mean, I've never been scared in my life, but I was. So I got to New York, then I'm based in Miami. My family, my kids, my wife here in Miami. So, and then all of a sudden the whole pandemic started centering in the United States. So I'm from Venezuela originally, and I've lived through this pandemic very, very close since I was in Italy a couple months ago. So I see it contagious and really being scared and seeing how the whole pandemic developed. So I thought about my own country and the people that is living in Venezuela. So right now, so I worked into a campaign with the Red Cross of Venezuela, and they have more than 125 years working with a lot of people in Venezuela, people in need, people that are sick, or people that as of right now is contagious with the virus. So they have more than 4,000 volunteers. So what we're trying to do with this campaign is to collect funds and trying to get funds so we can buy medical stuff. So we can protect these volunteers in Venezuela so they can go out and help people in need, people that are sick. They don't have to be sick necessarily with the virus, but sick. So we have to protect them so they can go outside and do everything they do for the people. And so for people, athletes, big athletes in Venezuela, like Miguel Cabrera, Jose Altuve. We have big baseball players back home, and they've been helping. The campaign is doing really well. It just show how united we are as a people, as a culture. So I'm excited. It's been pretty good, and any support is on my social media. On my bio, it's a link that you can click, and it will give you steps to how you can do a donation. It doesn't have to be. We're not trying to collect millions of dollars, but we're trying to help. That's the biggest thing. So if you go to any of my social media, at Greivis Vasquez, you're going to see a link on my bio that you can click, and it will tell you the steps how you can donate money.
All right, definitely encourage our listeners to help out if they can. It's an awesome cause, and like you said, a lot of big-name athletes come out of Venezuela, so it's great, that you guys are giving back. You mentioned you're in Miami now, and you had surgery on your ankle. What else have you been up to these days? I know you've been trying to get back from that injury for a while, but fill the listeners in on what you've been up to since the last time we saw you on a basketball court.
Well, I've been up to lately with my family. I was in Italy. I was trying to coach. I was trying to do the coaching thing, but I was ready mentally, but my body was not because the ankle still. And I still believe that I got a little bit more in the tank for me to play basketball. So it's hard to find that balance yet, because I still feel like I can do it if I get healthier. And I don't care whether it's the NBA or any league in the world. I just got way too much basketball in me for just to live it as it is right now. So the last 3.5 years I've been trying to get healthy, traveling a lot around the world, until I finally find a doctor that I felt comfortable. I was in Bologna, Italy, to remember, and then I started my rehab in Bologna. And it's been almost 6 months. My ankle is feeling a little bit better. I'm bone on bone without no cartilage. It's a tough injury. So now I have a little space, and then they recreating the cartilage. And as of right now, the virus is helping me to buy time. Since I'm at home working out every day, rehabbing every day, is making me feel much better. And plus, I'm with my wife and my kids, so that's a huge plus because I was so going crazy trying to going around the world, going around the states just to find the right doctor, and I couldn't really spend that much time with my family. And then before that, I was playing in the NBA, so my family. I really love my family, the way they support me, and the way that they handle my whole situation. So it's been great. As of right now, it's been great. I need more time. Is making progress and progress and progress. So we'll see how I feel in the next 10 months. And since then, I will make a decision whether I continue to play or, what is next in my career.
Yeah, and the reason I reached out to you for this interview, not only because you're a star, or you were a star at a major college basketball school from the Big Ten, but I mean, I knew you from the ACC days and know what you could do on a basketball court and how good you were. But we need to, maybe educate some of these Big Ten fans who didn't follow the ACC as closely about how good you were, Greivis. So what do you want, Big Ten fans to know about, now the Big Ten champs, Maryland, how those ACC days were and what they meant to you hooping for Maryland back in, the late aughts and early 2010s?
It meant a lot for me. The best 4 years of my life. I got better not only as a player, but as a person as well. The biggest story about I am a kid from Caracas, Venezuela. Where the country where anyone plays baseball, biggest sport is baseball. So no, you can't really hear much about basketball until right now. So when I came to the States, I went to high school in Montrose Christian School. Ended up graduating from high school with Kevin Durant. So we had a great senior year. So I told you how I ended up being at Maryland. One day I was doing my homework in the living room. I was staying in the house where all the international players used to stay. So I'm doing my homework and I'm watching a game, Duke against Maryland. And I see Gary going crazy, Gary Williams, like my coach. I call him my dad, I will say. And I see Gary going crazy, yelling and cussing people out and whatever. And I go, I want to play for that coach. I would love to play for that coach. 2 weeks after, we have an open period in Montrose. Obviously, that's rules and all that stuff. So I remember Coach Vedder, my high school coach, Stu Vedder, Hall of Famer, great high school coach, tells me, hey, meet me at my office. I got to talk to you. So when Coach Vedder tells me that, I'm going like, I haven't done anything wrong. So why I haven't cheated on the test or I haven't done anything crazy. So why is he telling me to go to his office? I got nervous. I'm like, no, he's sending me home. So while I'm walking to his office, between his office, it was a gym where we used to work out, lift weights and all that stuff. So it was Gary Williams waiting for me, and he offered me the letter of intent and the scholarship to go to the University of Maryland. So in my case, I dreamed about going to a school in the United States, and all of a sudden I get a scholarship from the University of Maryland from the man and only Gary Williams. So to me, true, and that was a dream that came through for me and my life. From that moment, I couldn't go to sleep, and from that moment, my life changed completely to this point because my 4 years of basketball in Maryland and as a student athlete was a tremendous experience.
Yeah, you stayed all 4 years. You got better and better. More and more these days, a lot of kids might leave and try and test the professional waters. Sometimes it's too early. Sometimes it's the right moment for them. So what do you have to say about being a guy who stayed all 4 years, who got better each year, who became a legend, really? And what is there to be said about getting your degree and putting in that time?
I will say this. I think you have to think about your family, about yourself. and you have to be secure. It's not that many LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Zion Williamsons, and these number one picks, the top 10 picks. So to me, it's about playing your cards the right way because and you're not only thinking about the moment or making money in that particular moment. You have to think about right now. Imagine my network right now and the things that I can do when I'm done with basketball. I can go back to Maryland and get a job around the school or in the school. So to me, you have to be very mature about these decisions. Like, don't get it based of an emotion that you gotta make it to the NBA. Yes, we all have that dream when we're little. Hey, we want to make it to the NBA. But for me, it was perfect. I wanted to get my education, and I wanted to fulfill my dreams, and I wanted to play basketball. I love the game of basketball. I love it so much. To this day, like, people still believe that I won't be able to come back, and I don't give a crap. I don't care what people think about me. I care about how much I love the game, how much I respect the game, how much I love my family, and how much I do and control each work that I do. So to me, what I can tell these young players that are trying to make it to the NBA, take your time. Take your time. What's for you is gonna be for you. So if you can get your education and experience the game of basketball in a college level, experience that. That's very important. If you're playing for the Big Ten, one of the best conferences in the whole United States, college basketball, then experience that. Don't try to leave another moment. The reason I made it to the NBA was the fact that I wasn't thinking about going to the pros. And no, I was becoming the best player, but I was enjoying the ride. And I understand all these situations when you're trying to get to the money right away and you have the talent. Yes, do that. Do yourself. Do you. Do your family, and make the right decisions. But 90% of the players in the NBA are role players. When you play the NBA, it's just two different levels. So to me, kids have to be conscious. Parents have to be conscious and understand, like, it's more than money. It's more than a career. So what is your kid gonna be in 20 years from now? You know what I mean? So, like, you have to analyze that. And to me, I made the perfect decision to come back my senior year, ACC Player of the Year, Bob Cousy Award, ended up being the best point guard in the whole nation. And that first pick in the draft was John Wall. So it worked perfectly. I live in Miami. I drive the car that I want. I mean, I'm living a dream still, and I haven't even played 4 years. So I haven't even made millions in 4 years. So I'm giving you the real. This game is a perfect game, but you have to do it right. And the decision comes early. That's what I'm going through a tough time with my injuries because I didn't taking care of my injuries early in my career, early when I was a young player. So to me, when you're in college, making the right decision is one of the most important things in your career. I don't care what you do after. It's only one Michael Jordan. It's only one LeBron James. It's only 10 to 15 superstars. The rest of the NBA, that we all are role players, whether they like it or not, role players. So have fun at college, enjoy college, take care of college, take care of the academics, and do well, because at the end of the day, it's more than basketball.
You got me hyped now, Greivis. You got me wanting to go out and get some shots up right now. Getting some buckets.
I go with you, though.
And, I remember you obviously giving buckets to teams like Duke and North Carolina and some of those great games from back in your days. Is it weird now to watch Maryland and see them in the Big Ten?
Honestly, it is, but it's basketball. It is because I grew up watching no, I didn't grow up watching ACC. I played in the ACC. So as a player, you go, wow. But when you start talking about Tom Izzo, Michigan State, you start talking about big powered programs in the Big Ten, and so right now you can debate whether it's better than the ACC or not. I mean, obviously I play in the ACC. And it was a smart decision for the school to go to the Big Ten. I think it's something new. We needed that, and we did it. And now we're in the Big Ten, a great conference. And I enjoy the tournaments. I enjoy Tom Izzo. He beat me. He beat me my last college game of my career. So it doesn't really bother me at all. I'm forward to support my school, to support the student athletes, and do what's right for the student athletes. And to me, uh, Big Ten ain't bad at all.
I remember those battles. For some reason, it's always Duke that sticks out. Some of those games you guys had against them, I remember seeing them on ESPN, watching you guys play, and I'm sure a lot of Maryland fans hold those memories, probably the most dear as well. So who would you say, just watching your alma mater these last, 5 to 7 years, who would you say the Maryland's biggest Big Ten rival is now? Is it Michigan State? Because, like you said, they ended your career. What team kind of draws
State.
you in? MSU?
MSU. I mean, Tommy is something else in his program and what they do every year. I think what he's done with the program, and yeah, he got some things, but I think he's done a great job. He won games. He proved that he can put players in the NBA, develop players, and win back games. So MSU to me is a rival, right? It's like the Duke and Maryland rival in a way, because they some great battles. I mean, I beat Michigan State a couple of times. They beat me my last gig. So I'm never gonna forget that. That's why I have that in my head. So it's kind of special. And at the same time, if you want someone to beat you, you want in college, you want Tom Izzo to be the guy, and he did it. And credit to him.
And you guys split that Big Ten title this year, Maryland's first Big Ten championship. Greivis, you mentioned you're from Caracas. I'm curious, how did you end up in the state of Maryland for high school? How did you end up on the same team as KD? How did that opportunity come about?
Well, I went to a program called MBA Without Borders, and I met a guy there. His name is Arturo, a good friend of mine, and nowadays you want to play in Europe or you want to go to the United States to go to school. So at the time, we were trying to get me to Washington State, to a high school in Washington State, because the plan was for me to go to Gonzaga at first. Tommy Lloyd was a guy that used to recruit me big time. He's one of the head associate assistant in Gonzaga. So at the end, they found me a school was Montrose Christian with Stu Vetter and David Atkins, and then they thought I was 6'11", and I was only 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", skinny dude. So when I got to Montrose, far away from Washington State, from Tommy, and they really did help me a lot, tremendously. A kid from Caracas that have zero money. They never gave me any money, but they were trying to put me in situations where I was be able to develop my academics and my game. And they changed. And they had a huge Montrose, and Stu Vetter and David Atkins, Stu really changed my whole point of view of life. Like, I went to a Christian school where people really were supporting me and being nice, and then the experience of playing with KD, imagine a kid that couldn't really afford my shoes, like Jordan shoes, and all of a sudden my high school team is sponsored by Jordan. Brother, I'm living the dream. I'm blessed. I tell this story, and then, yeah, you want to go out there and work out with me because you were like, why? I didn't have that many resources. I was working with my nails basically, and I get to Montrose and Jordan, sponsored by Jordan, and playing top 10 in the country, and then all of a sudden my going to my senior year, I have to take in extra credits, because the language barrier, because I couldn't speak any English at all. And also, KD is transferring to Montrose. I ended up playing my whole senior year with KD. Still good friend, brothers for life. Great guy, great family, great story. Deserved everything he got, and ended up winning our last high school game against Oak Hill. We beat his former team in DC, one of the best high school games in DC history. So I started out being the kid from Caracas with basically zero opportunities, to searching opportunities and taking advantage of the opportunity. Ended up going to Maryland, and the experience of playing high school basketball in the States and graduating from high school with Kevin Durant was a blessing. I mean, I can't thank God enough for putting me in situations where I was successful.
Did you know playing alongside KD in high school that he would be all NBA, MVP, that level of
Totally.
basketball player? You knew?
No doubt. I'll tell you what. He was a kid at the time, like me, man. And we like it when Timo had the psychic fun. I used to, hang out with us fun, and he used to come early. We used to work out before our first period, our first class. So we used to work out like around 6:45, 7 a.m. So he used to get to our house, the international house, where all the international players used to stay, because he was coming early. His mother had to drop him off. Sometimes he was taking the train or the bus. I mean, he had a normal life. Like, he struggled. His life wasn't that easy. That's why, like, this is a big story. His family wasn't rich or wealthy or anything like that, so they had to really grind with him and help him. And I admire his mother and his father and his whole family, because I met all of them. So his work ethic, his will to for the game, is obvious. Obviously, he's way too talented. 6'10", skill. He can dribble like a point guard, shoot like a shooting guard, and who was going to be able to guard him? No one. So, but the most impressive thing about KD was his heart. He was a guy that very mellow guy, very nice guy, very sensitive in terms of, like, being a normal human being. So, and he expressed that nowadays. So it was a great experience for me to be his teammate, his brother, and now I can call him Yay. And now then play against him in the NBA, almost beat him to go to the conference finals in the NBA my rookie year, and we had some great battles too.
Yeah, so after playing, the NBA as long as you did, seeing what it takes to be successful at that level, I'm going to ask you about two Maryland guys who have NBA dreams coming out this past year. Anthony Cowan, the point guard, obviously your position, and Jalen Stick Smith. What do you think about those guys' potential making it at the next level?
I think they got a good chance. I think I'll be pretty general. I think they both play in a great conference. They play against a great competition, which is very important when you're a scout. They done well this past year. So to me, they develop into mature players that can help an NBA team win games. Like I say, everyone is everyone is a role player in the NBA. If they're coming in, they understand that. I think it won't be bad for them to, get a backup situation where they can help a team, and eventually they can develop into a players that can, maintain in the NBA. I mean, to me, those two players, they talented enough to help and stay in the NBA and help a team win basketball games. To me, that's what people look at players they start looking at players in college, like, can these players help us with the stars that we have, with our main core players, help these players to win games. I think the biggest asset for those two players is that they will be able to help a team win games. To me, that's very important.
All right, before we let you go, Greivis, I'm curious, what is your favorite basketball memory from the NBA, and then your favorite basketball memory from your college days at Maryland?
I will say this: my favorite college day memory was when Gary, after we won a game, he told me, Coach Williams told me, "Hey, you're shooting the ball way too much," and I'm like, I was always just there. Like, me and Gary had this relationship. It was more than basketball. So I'm like, okay, that's what you think. I respect that. You're the head coach. So his assistant, one of his assistant coaches, his name is Roux, and he was my player development coach. I was like, bro, I'm shooting too much. I mean, we're winning games. I have to shoot. So he goes like, yes, you are shooting too much. You have to get your teammates better. You have to get everyone around you better. So I took it personal. You know my career. You know me. I'm very competitive. So, like, I wasn't taking crap for anyone. So I like, you guys want me to be the best point guard in the conference? Okay, cool. The following game was against Clemson, so I didn't take any shots. So going into halftime, I have 12 assists. We winning the game. We're rolling. I got everyone better. We're hitting shot left to right. So we go into the locker room halftime. So Gary talks to us, and everyone is going out again to warm up, and Gary was like, "Hey, Greivis, I say you're taking too many shots. I didn't say not to take shots. I was like, hey, you told me not to take shots. Maybe I couldn't understand your English or anything, but so then I ended up scoring 5 field goals at the end, but I ended up having 17 assists, which was a career high for me in assists. So I never forget that, because that's who I am, like a competitive guy that you have to challenge me to get the best of me. So that's why I always love Gary. In the NBA, this is what I finished with this. The biggest thing for me was getting drafted. So that night, the night of the draft, NBA draft, I remember going into New York with no money. I told my agent, Herb Rudolph, like, can you fly my family? Because I want my family to experience this. So like a kid, like with no money, nothing, I'm going into the hotel room, one hotel room, double bed for my whole family for 2 nights. And then I'm walking into the lobby to the Westin Hotel by Times Square. I see KD, Kevin Durant. So in the lobby, so I'm like, KD was like, oh, you're going to get drafted tonight. I know you're going to get drafted tonight, because they don't know you, but I know you. I know you're going to get drafted tonight, and I'm gonna throw you a party after you draft night. So I'm like, he might know something that I don't know. So go to my room. We all get ready right away. And then I had a limousine waiting for me downstairs. I'm like, no, I'm walking. So I walk from the Westin to the Madison Square Garden. Sunny day, sweating, nervous, with my whole family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my high school coach, friends. Walking, I'm like, I worked hard. I did 30 job interviews with 30 different teams, with the same suit, the same watch, the same shoes, the same everything, just to show discipline and professionalism. So then I'm gonna get drafted tonight. You know, NBA draft, they have like 15 table with the guys are gonna get drafted, the first 15 picks. So I sat with the fans. I don't know if you guys watched my draft night in 2010. So I sat with the fans, and then all of a sudden, the 15th pick comes, and then the commissioner comes out, David Stern comes out, and great guy, unbelievable guy, changed the NBA for better, for the great, for the best of best. So he comes out, and I'm thinking that they were going to draft me and the 15th pick, the Memphis Grizzlies, because my Herbert called me, my agent. So I'm like, oh, you might come up right now. And then all of a sudden, it was another player. So my heart got broken. I'm like, whoa, I'm not gonna get drafted in the first round. This is gonna be brutal for me. How can you brought your family? Yeah, you shouldn't brought your family here. You made it a huge deal, and all of a sudden the 28th pick comes, and Mr. David Stern come on goes with the 28th pick from Caracas, Venezuela, Maryland. The Memphis Grizzlies select Greivis Vasquez. That was the greatest night of my life. That's how I started my rookie year in the NBA. That's how I realized that dreams actually come true. And to me, that was a memorable night, remarkable night for me. And then everything from that point on was amazing, except my injury, because I wouldn't be playing right now. I still have the talent to play, but it happens. It's part of the business. But I'm a happy kid. I'm blessed, and I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm Big Ten, because I support my family. So thank you so much.
And I lied, Greivis. I have one more question for you, because I would kick myself if I didn't ask you this, because I saw a video from 2 years ago, I believe, and you were at a Maryland game, and you got the mic during the game and yelled, I am Maryland pride. That was one of the most hyped things I've ever seen. The whole crowd's going nuts. Why did you yell that? And like, what came over you in that moment? And just why were you able to get the crowd going like that? Just in a break in the action.
I am Maryland pride, man, because I'll tell you why. Because what came to my mind was the fact that I was struggling with the language. Is still my freshman year in college. All the professors really supported me. The whole coaching staff, the whole Maryland family, the students, everyone really supported me. They made me feel like I was part of the family, man. I was struggling. It was hard to take English as a second language, and the rest of your teammates as a freshman, they were just taking big classes. So I had a really tough path. So that's why I see myself back in Maryland. I mean, I see myself working for the school. I see myself doing with the school, and then I am Maryland pride because I basically never paid the school back for everything that the school did for me. I mean, I'm very thankful, and to me, I'm a humble guy that values opportunities and take advantage of opportunities. And Maryland was something that is always going to be in my heart. It's my pride. So I connect with the fans right away. I connect with my people. I connect with my Maryland fans and my Maryland family right away because they know it's real. They know I'm all about fighting for my school and representing my school.
All right, Greivis. Well, you've been very generous with your time. I kept you a little longer, but I appreciate every minute of it. This was a lot of fun, and best of luck, getting back to the league. Definitely be rooting for you from BTN.
Thank you. Support, guys. Thank you.